Hello, 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 welcome. Welcome to day one of the Ease Frequency Masterclass. I am so excited to be welcoming each and every single one of you into this space today as we begin this time together. Hi, hello, beautiful. Hello, Shandy, how are you? Hello, Teresa. Hello, Lindsay, how are you? Hi, Chantal, how are you? Say hello to me below as you're popping on and let me know what the number one thing is you're looking to get out of today. What is the number one reason why you decided to join me on this 3-day experience together? Hi, beauty. Hi. Because here's the thing that I know. Hello, Samantha. Here's the thing that I know. As mothers, as women, as entrepreneurs, as people who are building business empires and family legacies at the same time, time is a very important currency for us, yes? It really is. And so I want to start off today by honoring the fact that you are spending this time with me here today. It is something that I do not take lightly at all. It is something that I do not take lightly at all. And I'm so excited that you are here with me. I cannot wait to drop this information with you, this energetic transmission, to be honest with you. And in a minute, I'm going to take you through an exercise where we're going to release some things out of our mind and we're going to settle into our heart to where we can really get to a place where we can hear the fullness of this transmission, because it's far beyond logic. It's far beyond knowing. It's actually in your being, in your essence. And that's something I'm going to share with you today. Hello, Vanessa. Hello, Samantha. Oh my goodness. So good to see you guys. All right. So a couple things about me. Let me know. Drop me a comment below if this is your first time. Drop a number 1 in the comments if this is the first masterclass event you have ever done with me. So for those of you that are catching this live and you are like, I don't know who this is, I don't know what this is, I'm Katie Fleming, and I'm a business coach and mentor for ambitious mom entrepreneurs that are building family legacies and business empires at the same time. I have been about the both and, what I call the both and, since the conception of my online business, which was when I had my first daughter. To be honest with you, she's 8 now. So that's when I started in the online space. It evolved into a lot of different things. That's a whole different story. We won't go there today. Oh my gosh, so many new ones. First one for Vanessa, Noreen, first one, Teresa. What? Oh my gosh. This is so cool. Samantha, first one. Shandy says, I just know I'll always get some nuggets from you and that will benefit my life and business. 100%. I'm so glad you're here. So yes. So I've always been about this both and experience. This, how can we build a business that is very impactful and makes a great income while also not sacrificing our life and our people and ourself in the process. Yeah. So to be honest with you, the ease frequency is the most embodied thing I have. And it's, to be honest also as well, like when I was creating this masterclass for us, it felt huge. There were some moments where I was like, God, this is huge. How am I supposed to bring this forward? Like, how is this message supposed to, how? This is huge. This is really, really big. And the one thing I want to share with you is there's a lot of things, but the thing I'm going to say right now is that life and business is a series of 1% shifts that compound and stack upon each other, and they lead to really big results. Within coaching, especially when you coach with me, I look at subtle energetics. That's like my specialty, is like the little things. And I piece together little things, and those little things create big things. They create big results. And so there's sometimes that subtle shifts can create really big ripples. And I have the greatest example for you that you should do with your children today. I have these cute little soap bottles sitting next to my sink that James, my husband, gave me a hard time for when I bought them, but they're so cute. They're glass and they sit on this cute little tray, and they're not the typical soap bottles that you get from Target or whatever, like the ones that have like Myers soap or whatever. So I had to refill them the other day. This was a while ago, actually, a couple months ago. And I was playing because I think it's really good for us to play like we're children. So as I'm refilling, taking the big refill of the soap, and I'm trying to refill these little glass jars, I'm refilling it, and then I start to increase the width, like what's the word? I start to go up and increase the distance, there it is, between the soap bottle and the actual soap container, right? And what I noticed was, and this is perfectly indicative of like what happens the higher level in our growth that we go. Height, yes, thank you. Thank you, Lindsay. The higher we go, the more intense the wave of the soap moves based on the subtlest movements. If I just sneeze or even just think about not moving, I will move slightly and that soap will completely, the wave of it will be huge. It will be drastic. And this is the same in our personal development. There comes a point, you remember at the beginning stages of your personal development, it felt like moving big pieces into place. Like something big shifted and it was like, oh my gosh, relief. But at a certain point, it turns into tiny tweaks, subtle shifts, energetic shifts sometimes that you can't even explain or see or understand, but the ripple, the actual effect of what that energetic shift looks like in the reality, you can't deny it. It's connected. Yeah. So it's I say that because sometimes, especially when we're doing transmissions like this, it may feel like there's no big, massive breakthrough, but I'm telling you, if you allow yourself to really sink into your being and be exactly where your feet are, you're going to start to see these shifts. You're going to start to see how this ripples into so many different areas. And 1% shift here, stacked on 1% here, on 1% here. It's the 1% shift that creates the change in the trajectory of absolutely everything. So, hello, Nelly. So good to see you. All right. So, that's our little intro. I haven't even gotten through my housekeeping yet. So as you know, when you joined this masterclass, when you registered, which by the way, if you haven't officially registered, that's going to be how you get access to the replays. The replays will live here on Instagram and they probably will live on the podcast if I'm being honest with you. But if you're anything like me, you like to speed up videos when you watch it and you like to have a really good indication of where you leave off if you're not able to complete it in one sitting, which when are we ever? So that is why I'm giving everybody who is on the replay list access to the YouTube of this. So you're gonna be able to speed it up. You're gonna be able to know exactly where you are and come back to it, all that good stuff. So if you want that, katiefleming.co/ease to get on that list so that you have a copy of the replay, okay? But replays will be going out. You will have time to go through this. What I do encourage you to do is to make space in your calendar to actually give yourself time and space to do this transmission with me and also the homework after. Because there's gonna be some energetic homework and there's gonna be some things that I'm gonna walk you through that are gonna be really powerful over the next 3 days. If you've also never been to one of my masterclasses before, then you don't know this, but I'm gonna tell you. These are programs, essentially, that I run for free because I want to, because the message is meant to be for all of us at a very accessible level. It's my way of giving back. And so while we could have charged for this, I don't want to. This one came through very clearly. It's supposed to be free. It's supposed to be accessible. It's supposed to be able to tap into at any point in time. And it's supposed to live in multiple time spaces and dimensions. That is also very wild to think about, that the things we're creating, the way that we're showing up today, it ripples into the future. I mean, obviously. But can you imagine your kids getting to witness you? Can you imagine them getting to watch how mom moved and did things in the world, how she made decisions, right? And this is a big thing for me of wow, how would I want to tell my children in hindsight how I lived this? How will I want them to see how mom moved and how mom operated and how mom lived and how mom loved? Yeah. So that is another thing you can think about when you're creating things in your own world is, am I going to be proud of this today and tomorrow? And when you could say yes to that thing, that's actually a very quick way to feel at ease. Yeah. I'm getting ahead of myself, but that is a very quick way for the ease to set over. Because you can say, I know who I am and I know how I serve. And if you can sleep knowing that and I'm getting so ahead of myself. There's so much goodness here. Oh my gosh. Yes. Okay. So yay, I'm so glad you're here, Vanessa. Another thing is that this is meant to be interactive. So if you have questions as we're going, pop them below. I am a generator with a sacral response in human design, if you're familiar with that, which bottom line just means I like to respond. So sometimes I don't always know consciously, I know it, but I don't always have the exact words at the top of my head until you ask. And then I'm able to, it's really strange. Unless you're a generator, maybe you don't understand, but the comments, the engagement, it really helps, okay? So the other thing is, those of you that got into the masterclass registration, you saw that there was a graphic to share. And there's a handful of you that shared this graphic. Over the next few days, I'm gonna be doing a ton of giveaways. I love giving things away. And they range from $33 all the way up to $3,333. And so today, I wanna start this off by doing a giveaway. I've got all the little names in here of those of you that have shared the masterclass graphic. Okay, so we're gonna give away 2 everyday paydays. And before I do this, you can at any point in time do the same thing. There's an unlimited entry that you can do into this, and all you have to do is take a screenshot of me as I'm talking, or post a picture of your notes as you're doing like notes, or you're doing like the exercises that I think we're back. Like whatever you want to do to show that you're in this. My point in this is I want you to show that you're here in this experience. I want to be able to see and witness your transformation that you're going through, and also celebrate and shout you out on my Instagram as well. So tag me. That is the only way that I will know that it's happening, and my team and I can make a note, and then I can put all your names on these cute little post-it things and pull it out of this little box. So let's do the first 2. Tomorrow we're going to be giving away something bigger, and then Friday is going to be the big boss one, and I'm really, really excited. So 2 everyday paydays are going to Vanessa, the bookkeeper mama. You are getting an everyday payday. I'm so excited. And Krista, you are getting an everyday payday. So DM me. Krista, I think you already have everyday payday, so you'll just get, there'll be something, we'll talk about that. You could have something else. I'm so excited for you guys. That is awesome. Awesome. Okay, this is so fun. Let me check and make sure I got everything. Yeah. Okay. So, like I said, this masterclass was quite large. The name of it, the graphics, we've had this all sitting here for months. For months. I've been sitting here knowing this was going to happen. And it wasn't until the beginning of, the end of March, where I was like, okay, it's time. It's time. And for so many reasons, this specific week, it was perfect. It was perfect because this has been a very hard week. Emotionally, energetically, relationally, there's been a lot of things going on. And that's actually the bottom line of the ease frequency. If we wait around and we need life to be perfect for us to feel peaceful, for us to feel at ease, for us to be able to build our business. I mean, that's so like if you need all the kids to be quiet so that you can build your business, probably won't happen. If you need everyone to perform, all your clients to act correct and be on the up and up, all of your relationships to be perfect, nobody to cause any drama. If you need all of the things to go correctly at school and nothing to sideball and sideswipe you, it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen, ever. Is my connection going wonky for you guys? Do I stop talking or does it keep going? Because it keeps popping into my thing and I just wanna make sure we're okay. Let me know. Okay, I'm just gonna keep rolling. So, okay, good. Life is gonna life. Life is gonna be hard. Life is gonna be grand. We're gonna have great moments. And life is gonna be blah, right? The neutral. And I'm gonna talk about the neutral in a second because the neutral actually is, for me, has been like a kind of excruciating piece. So we'll come back to that. So life is gonna life. And if we give other things the power to knock us out, then we require and we need other things to knock us back in. And if we ever need other things to give us what we need, like the fuel, the fodder, like to be able to produce, then we're constantly at the whim of something else. We are making that other thing a lowercase God in our life, an idol, so to speak. So my goal inside of this Ease Frequency Masterclass is to help you see the power that already exists within you. To help you see that the only one that can give away your peace or take away your peace is you. And that's kind of a big thing to swallow, right? It's kind of a big thing to swallow. But it's actually the most comforting thing to know that we are the ones who hold the power with it. So despite hard times, like Vanessa, you said it's been rough for you too. Yeah, like life is gonna life. There's gonna be a lot of things. There's gonna be a lot of things. And so this common phrase that's been said in the industry and personal development. I'm sure you've heard it, and I want you to tell me below if you've heard this. But we're going to go into it deeper. And it's life is not happening to you, it's happening for you. How many of you have heard this phrase? It's one of those ones where you're like, yeah, I know. But we're going to go into this today. And before we go any further, what I want to do is I want to release, because I know a lot of you are here, you're like, okay, but how is this going to help me get clients? How is this going to help me grow my income? How is this going to help me have the body of my dreams? How is this going to help me have the bank account that I want? How is this going to help me, like what, how, right? You're in the house. So what I want to do is I want you to notice all the energy that's in your mind. That's where the hows are. Like, how do I do it? What's the program name? What's the outline? What's the thing? Well, I just need to figure out what my package looks like. Or I just need to, it's like this frantic, like I've got to figure out. But how many of you have had this experience where the thing, the how you were seeking drops in moments? It's like, why does the thing come in when you shower? Why do you have the beautiful download when you take showers? Why, when you're doing the dishes, do you become so prophetic and have so many like incredible things come to you? The reason why is because there's no resistance. There's no resistance. And the way that I picture it is like when we're asking this how question from a place of that's what I need to be able to find peace, then what we're doing is actually like kind of choke holding God, saying, if you just give me the program name, then I'll feel so much better. And then I can go do the things, and then the people can hire me. And then when the people hire me, then we'll be able to, whatever. But it's like this frantic, like energy. And I love that you guys can see my face, because it's like exactly the energetic tone of that. And so when we notice that happening, what we can do is actually we can release that, number one, but I want you to actually bring your energy down into your heart. Some of you, it might be more of like your stomach, like your gut area. And some of you, it might be more of like your sacral area, like your womb space. So go with whichever one feels correct. But by moving that energy out of the frantic head, we can then step into the heart, which is where the how that is meant for you will come through. Because it's not about not doing hows, it's about doing the hows that are aligned. It's about frequency first, and then all is added. And to me, like that is like seek first that, and then all is added. Then it all comes. If we can seek first our frequency and our connection to God, then the rest is added. But if we're going from a place of I need to get the rest is added to be able to, it's not going to work. And if it works, it's for a season. It's for a blip. It's for a moment. And it's at the expense and the sacrifice of something else. Whether it's your health, it's a relationship, it's something. It's something. Not true ease, not true peace. So the number one thing, there's a few things we're going to talk about over the next couple of days, but the ease stealers. What are the ease stealers? And the number one thing is thinking that something else is stealing it and not realizing that you gave it away. And so I'm big on our role as transformational leaders. I want us all to understand who we are and the power that we have to shift and change the rooms that we go in. One of the crazy things is that when we go internal, the external starts to change. Always. It always does this. And I have this silly example, but it was one time I was sitting out on my back porch, and it was it was the middle of the day. I was trying to write an email, I think, or do something like that, write a podcast or something. And I'm sitting there writing. The kids are in school. Like, I got stuff to do on these days, right? When the kids are in school, because they're only in school like 3 days a week. And the dog next door is barking incessantly. And I could go into the whole like, well, this is why we shouldn't have neighbors, and this is why we should move to the blankety blank. And then when we're in the blankety blank and we have land, then all would be solved. And it's like this external outside of me, not here, kind of a thing that's going to bring me peace. Yeah. So we put the emphasis on other things as the reason why we do or don't have peace, and not ever being able to find peace in the now. So I didn't actually do that, but I could have. But in this moment, it was just very orchestrated, very God ordained. I was thinking, what's noisy within me? This dog won't shut up. What is incessantly barking within inside of me? And immediately I had a thought. I don't remember what it is. I wish I did, but I don't. But I had a thought. And I was like, okay. And I was able to look at it and notice it. And usually for me, the noticing is enough for it to float away. Like it's just like almost like a knocking. And the moment I acknowledge that there's a knocking, it's like, it's gone, kind of a thing. So what was wild about that was the moment it shifted, the moment I noticed it, and the moment I shifted it, the dog stopped barking. And I was like, what is this? This is crazy. This is crazy. But often life, if we can, honestly, life is like that. You're going to have synchronicities pop up for you in the next few days that you're going to be like, whoa, what did I just step into? Because I did not realize life was disconnected. Like Katie said, I didn't think that the dog barking could have been an indication of something within me. And then it's like, did the dog bark because of the thing within me? Or does the thing within me because the dog was barking? I don't know. But the thing is, we don't have to figure it out. We just get to use the things around us, organic creation happening around us, to serve us. Yeah, and to serve the greater good of all. So that is like the things coming to you, the things happening to you, whether they're silly like that, whether they're super incredible, like clients sending you like testimonials and love and sweet messages, or whether they're excruciating, like relationships ending and things like that. Like it doesn't matter what spectrum it is, it's happening for you. And even in the moments, in the actual moments, we may not know why. We may not ever know why. I sure do hope there's one moment where I start to get glimpses of, that's why that happened. And personally, for me, like I can look back and say, I do remember walking through that. I do remember how painful it was. I'm proud of how I operated. I wouldn't have changed anything because I learned this and I learned that and I learned this. And I can see how for the greater good of all that were involved, it worked. It always does. It always does. So the big thing that we want to look at here today is what is showing up for you and why. As a transformational leader, somebody who goes first for yourself and for your clients, like I consider myself my number one client. I coach myself first before I ever respond to anything in my life. I look at it very closely. I look at it very clearly. I get support where I need it, but I also know that I have to be my best client. I have to coach me first. I can't sit here on the internet and tell people what to do and not actually do it too. I walk the talk. And because of that, I sleep really well. Because of that, there's peace. Because I'm living in the way that I want to tell my life in hindsight, the way I want to share with my girls that I did things, the way that I live today, how I want to tell a client who has a similar issue, how I handled it and how I walked through it. Yeah? Because of that is a huge piece of the ease. But as this transformational leader, one of the things I know is that I get lessons for me and for you, for us, all of us. And it's almost like I grew up in the church, I don't even know how to describe it. I guess like a Baptist church. But one of the things that preachers would always do, like these like non-denominational pastors, they would always have anecdotes and really cool stories. And I was always like, this is really interesting that you seem to have a story every week from your week for the Sunday you're preaching about. I was like, this is interesting. But what I've realized is that it's life showing up for us. It's God giving us more fuel to be able to help those around us. It's the deepening of the things that I've walked through. Everything I taught you or I'm teaching you this week, I've embodied. And I've embodied it without needing the lessons this week. But the lessons came to deepen my knowing, to take me to another level, to show me another unfolding, because it's never ending. It's never ending. And that's actually a message for one of you today. You think the thing you're going through is the thing that disqualifies you from teaching others, and actually it's not. As long as you are leading yourself through it, you are qualified, more than qualified, to teach and walk others through it as well. Usually, for my clients and for myself, my soul's curriculum, the thing that I go through the most, is a big portion of what I'm here to help the world shift. And you could look at it as like, well, you keep going through that thing, so like you must not have that thing figured out. And let's just say people pleasing, for example. You must not have people pleasing figured out if you keep having situations that make you question your people pleaser, or your people pleaser tendencies come out. And it's not that I haven't overcome that. It's that I am continually deepening, strengthening my skills around that so that I can continue to show up and teach the next level version of me as well as all the other iterations of me. It's like continuing education. And we all have our own unique soul's curriculum that we go through. And that is usually the gift that changes the world. But so often we get stuck thinking it's the thing that disqualifies us. And I want you to flip that on its head and say, no, it's actually the thing that qualifies me. As long as I'm committed to walking myself through it, and I show up powerfully, leading myself through this first, that's it. That's it. That's it. Alignment. Yes, Shandy. Yes. Yes. So that's going to be the fun thing. Is like, as you're launching, as you're selling something, you want to look at the root of what it is that you're selling and see what's showing up. Because it might seem really crazy that you have something showing up and it's like super left field and you're like, oh, wait a second, this is actually related to the thing that I'm teaching. So my life lately has been different than it normally is. But one of the things that hasn't changed is how at peace I feel. Last night, as I was sitting in my girl's bed, my oldest daughter was reading a book to my youngest, and I was just sitting there rubbing backs, as I do. That's the mommy's job, rubbing backs. So I'm sitting there, I'm just looking at these children, and my youngest one just looks at me and smiles, and I'm just like, wow, this is all we need, you guys. This is like all we need. Health and this presence and these moments with these kids, like that is all I need. I am so full, right? My cup is overflowing. And I was thinking to myself, and in that moment of just like peace, like it's like this exhale. I keep exhaling, I keep breathing really heavy because you can physically, like you can start to induce yourself into this if you want to. But it really is just like this exhale and this like ease. And as I'm in that moment, phrases start coming to my mind. Phrases start coming. Like peace is a very underrated currency. How true is that? When you have peace, nothing can buy you. Nothing can buy your soul. There's a lot of soul selling happening in order to acquire peace, safety, security. Having to be a pony and dance, like do a dog and pony show or whatever that phrase is in order to get a paycheck. You got to perform to get paid. And there's a lot of soul selling happening, and I'm against it because it's not what we're made to do. We're not meant to sell our souls for a dollar bill. And I'm committed to never doing that. And it doesn't mean we don't work hard. It doesn't mean we don't give value. It doesn't mean we don't show up powerfully. It just means when we have peace, true peace, nothing can rock you. When you know who you are and how you serve, nothing can rock you. If you know that you've done everything you could have and you were in integrity the whole step of the way and you never threw a nasty word at anyone, you know who you are. You know how you serve. And that's pretty peaceful. That's pretty peaceful. So there's a huge integrity piece to this as well, but it's mostly the part that I want to illuminate for you today is that the things coming around you are meant for you to show up for and lead yourself through. And through that leading, share it with the world. And in the sharing it with the world, you're able to help the world. It's the moments that you walk through this week that you lead yourself through. And then from that place, you create content. From that place, you share the moments. From that place, you invite people into the transformation with you, walking side by side together on this journey. One of the things that happens when we are at the whim of clients performing correctly, behaving correctly is probably the better word, or husbands behaving correctly, or children behaving correctly, or school schedules behaving correctly, or nobody having sicknesses and everybody being healthy and that working correctly, like all of those things, when we're at the whim of that and we're putting our power in that, what ends up happening in the business, how it manifests in the business, is content up, sometimes content down. When you're in a down moment, you don't create content. And so you only have content from the high moment. And if you only have content from the high moment, like the hype moment, you're only having clients sign with you in the hype moment. And that can also lead to an inconsistency in your client rosters. It can also lead to an inconsistency in your income because maybe you're not selling when you're in those low moments. So if we can learn how to regulate your energy to where you show up no matter what is happening around you, and you use the things around you, you almost essentially ride the energy of whatever's around you. So let's say you're having an incredibly amazing day. Okay, this is hugely practical. We're gonna kind of get out of some energetics for a second and talk about some practicals, which I'm so obsessed with as well. I like both of them. But here's the thing, if you had an incredible day and someone just joined your mastermind and you're like over the freaking moon that they joined your mastermind and you are like, oh my gosh, they're amazing. This is so cool. I love my mastermind. The sisterhood vibes are incredible, blah, 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 Yeah, let's ride the energy of that. That's real. That's organic. That emotion right there, we can take it and we can put it on the internet. We can transmute that and put and share it. That's the wrong word. But we can take that and share it with everybody on the internet and try to bring that energy forward. Ride the energy of what's there. Yeah? And use that to create more momentum in your business, more sales in your business. Yeah? So it's like the people on the website. If you've ever been to a website before, it's the same concept where you're on a website and you're thinking about buying this thing. You're thinking about buying this little thing for your dog and you're not sure. But then there's like this little thing that pops up at the bottom that says, Ron from West Virginia just bought the thing for his dog. And you're like, oh, okay, this thing might be good for my dog. We know it's a bot at this point, but it's the same idea where it's like, okay, like it just adds a little bit of like surety and certainty and confidence in this company. It's the same thing. So we want to take the thing, the energy that's happening, this transaction that has now existed in your business, and ride that energy to create more inside of this vortex. Because what creates the lulls in your income and what creates the lulls in your content and what creates the lulls in your life is the not being able to ride energy, whether it's high or low. And so if we can learn how to ride that, if we can ride these waves and we can realize, hey, I'm meant to surf on the top of the wave just as much as I am at the bottom. If I'm in the water, I'm surfing, I'm a surfer, then I need to surf. I can't get off the board and call it quits because I'm on a low part of the wave. No, surfers don't do that. They ride the wave. There's moments where they're on the top. There's moments where they're on the bottom. There's moments where they're face planted in the water. Like there's all of those moments. There's moments where they're sitting there ready to paddle, waiting for the next wave. That's neutral. They're waiting. So this is the more you can regulate your energy, the more you can ride energy, high, low, or neutral, the more consistent you're going to see the clients, the more consistent you're going to see the revenue, the more consistent you're going to see your manifestations be. So like if you're wanting the higher level client, but you're not holding the energy for the higher level client because you dip here, you go there, and sometimes when you're in neutral, you just kind of wobble. That creates wobbly manifestations, yeah? So riding energy is huge. Now I want to talk about neutral at this point. Let me look at time. Where are we at? We are going like a mile a minute. This is so great. So neutral. Neutral is the place where nothing's really happening. It's neutral. It's not high. It's not low. It's neutral. This is also what you can call the void. 0 point. It's also what I like to call the vision in the gap. It's the place between where you are and where you want to go. Now, if you know anything about quantum mechanics, I'm going to go into that for a second. If you know anything about quantum mechanics, you know that everything exists as a wave. Everything exists in the quantum field as a wave. And the moment these things pop into our awareness is when we observe them. So the longer we can observe the thing, then the waveform turns into a molecule, and that molecule turns into matter, and that matter becomes the things in front of us that manifest over time. Now there's a whole lot of nuance here I'm not going to get into, but the point is that what you're focused on is what you will bring into being. What you are looking upon is what you will bring into your world. So if you're looking at the lack of clients, or if you're saying, I want to elevate my clients, but all I'm getting is this, then you're going to continue to pull in that. If you're speaking to the clients in your content that it's a little bit of like, it's a little bit of like, what's the word? I'm losing the word, but it'll come back. So if we're doing that, then we're going to attract the lack. There's no difference to the way this universal law works. Whatever you're focused on is what you're drawing in. So if you're focused on the lack of the thing you actually want, you're going to get the lack. Instead, how can you go focus on the what you want, which is the dream clients, which is the next level clients, which is the consistent income. So for example, if you want consistent income, the languaging to use is, oh my gosh, my income is so consistent. It's leveling out. Every day it's getting closer and closer to being the most consistent it's ever been. I'm getting better and better every day, every moment. A new payday, everyday payday. Like, it's like that kind of conversation versus like, what am I doing wrong? Why is there not a payday today? My income is not going up yet. Is this ever going to change? I really need the income to be more consistent so that I can. Like, it is like that focus, it's subtle, is on the lack of. So if you can shift it into the focusing on the straight up what you want, that's going to help speed up the things that you experience in your life. Cool? So I'm gonna take a second and pause, and I want you guys to let me know if there's any questions so far. Okay, perfect. So the other thing that's really cool to think about, and is great when it comes to building content and building a business and coaching, is to look around you, what you're walking through, and see it from the perspective of you now and you later. So this is like one of the quickest ways for me to zoop back into peace. And yes, Lindsay, that is such a good question. I will. I'm just gonna go there. So can you talk about creating and keeping momentum when you're down? So when you're in the neutrals, when you're down, this actually ties in perfectly with what I was about to say. So good. So the thing is, when you're down, you want to look at it from two perspectives. The human now, you feeling the now, the suck, you feeling the things, you feeling the energetic dagger that sometimes feels like it just went through your heart. You feeling that pretty intensely, while also staying open to love, because that's the other thing we don't want to do is go, well, oh, there we go. That's exactly the reason why I shouldn't have put my heart out there. I shouldn't love like I do. I shouldn't have said what I said, which was actually true about who I am and how I love, because it always gets exploited and it always gets hurt and always gets trampled on. So yep, I should put the walls back up. But instead, how can you allow yourself to feel that sucks while also staying open? That is next level power. To be able to love and be hurt, but still love again. To still keep your heart open. To still keep it to where other people can feel you. Because we want to be able, like, the heart is how we communicate as humans. It's why over the internet things can be translated so easily via stories, and why you can feel if something's off in my content and it doesn't align with you. You can feel these things. And it's not up to me to know what you feel and what I feel. It's purely your own experience of it, right? But the heart is how we communicate. And so if we guard the heart, then they can't experience you. And if they can't experience you, they can't experience the transformation that you guys have to bring through together, whatever that is. So I obviously don't know the situation, but I do know what it's like to be down. And in these down moments, we look at it from the now, but we also look at it from the future. And there's intelligence that we can extract in the now, right? And that's one of the things that has changed so much for me around hardship, is realizing that there is intelligence here. There are codes. And I say codes because I love video games, but it's like there are codes. There's some kind of thing. Like, do you remember playing Mario on Nintendo 64? The first few worlds, it was like you had to make sure you went through different places so you could activate new, like, skills, or like you had to learn how to booty bump, or you had to learn how to fly. So you had to get the little red hat, and you had to learn how to do like a Z jump on the wall, or a wall jump, right? You had to learn all those things. And if you didn't go through that specific level at that specific thing, get that specific code, then you wouldn't be able to do the thing 2 levels later, where there's like literally no way you could win that unless you have the booty bump thing, you know? So it's like that. And so there are codes, there's intelligence that's happening right now in your world that's trying to pop through. And it's popping through in the situations that are coming up. And the thing is, if we miss the codes, if we bypass them, if we don't feel the depth of our feelings, if we use some other method of suppression, right? Which I've done this before, like using wine to just be like, I can't think about this right now. I got to drink a glass of wine. Like that, there's been those seasons for me where it's like, that's my option. And if I do that, I'm actually missing the codes that are here waiting for me, the intelligence that's here for me to extract, so that I can then stop doing this same level over and over again. Have you ever looked at like the situations that are happening around you and been like, I know these are different people. I know this is kind of different situation, but like at the energetic core, this is the same thing. And I am sick of playing this level again. Right? And so when you start to have that awareness of like, wait a second, I've been here before and I am ready to leave. And when you have that awareness, you can then look at and say, okay, what's the intelligence here? What do I need to extract? What do I need to shift? What is here for me? For me, some of my greatest lessons this week have been that even when my heart is in question, I know who I am, I know how I serve. And I'm at peace with that. I know who I am. I know how I serve. And everybody else can have their fabricated views of what that may or may not mean. But I know who I am and I know how I serve. Yeah. And another piece of intelligence, and what's so cool is I got to share this real time. Obviously, I didn't give drastic details, but I got to share how I was leading myself through this with my mastermind, with my Shift Inner Circle, which is so fun because, you know, the thing about masterminds to me is even though I'm the leader, I'm right there with you. There's no pedestals. There's no hierarchy. There's just heart. And it's all of us walking alongside of each other in this game called life. So one of the codes I shared with them was that there's only 2 people who actually know you. I wasn't planning on sharing this today. I think this was day 3, but for some reason it's meant to come out now. So there are 2 versions. There are only 2 people that know you, truly know you, like truly know who you actually are. And that is you, and that is God. It's not even your husband. It's not even your mom. It's not even your bestie. It's you and it's God. And so what actually is happening when other people reject portions of us, they're not rejecting us because they can't touch us. They cannot touch us. They don't know. This is why we shouldn't judge, because we literally don't know the heart of the human. There's no way to know the heart of the human. There's only 2 people that know it. And dare I say, sometimes we don't even know it, right? So it's not that they're rejecting you, or it's not that they're having there's a third party version of you out there. There's a bunch of different versions of Katie Fleming. Even the way you view me today is not actually me. It's this version of you, of me that you've created, and that's okay. It's okay, we all do it. It's called projection. But when you know that the thing, they're not rejecting you. This changes the game for people pleasing. This changes the game for peace. This changes the game for showing up and sharing your gift with the world, because no longer are you rejected. They just don't like your art. Okay? You know what I mean? It's do you think Picasso cares that some people don't like his art? Do you think Van Gogh cares that some people, you know what I mean? There's some art out there that I'm cool. I don't really like it. My dad loves, there's this one specific guy. Oh my gosh, this was hilarious. We went to a restaurant and my dad and I were having this cute little argument about this artist. I'm I don't see the value. I don't like it, but you like it, which is cool. So he asked our waiter, he's what do you think of this art? And the guy's it looks like tampon wrappers. I'm so it's Do you think this artist cares? No, because we're not rejecting him, and we couldn't even if we tried, because there's only two people, like I said, who know who he is, him and God. So this changes the game. When your piece can't be rocked, there is like 0 F's can be done to you if you're in this place of surety on who you are and surety on how you serve. I know who I am and I know how I serve. If you take away anything from day one today, I want you to write that down. I want it to become your mantra. I want it to be your thing every time you feel that fire in your heart of like, but you don't understand. I'm just, and you feel like, oh my gosh, I just need to, I hate that they don't love me right now. Like it's that kind of feeling. I know who I am. I know how I serve. Immediately calms the fire. Immediately. And when you know who you are and you know how you serve, your impact can start to impact and influence far beyond just the little things that you've been. This is where the immeasurably more starts to come in. This is where your capacity starts to increase, which means you get more responsibility, more things, more blessings, more things, more lives to steward, more clients to steward, more joy to steward. The word is steward. That is a very important word to me because we have a responsibility. More team to steward, all that. I know who I am. I know how I serve. Let me look at. Vanessa says, I get so discouraged sometimes. It's hard to communicate bookkeeping when some people find it boring. You know what? Your ideal clients, they know bookkeeping is necessary and they don't enjoy it. That's why they hire you. So it's like really getting into who is your ideal client here and allowing them not to like it. Like it's fine that it's boring for them. That's good. That means you have a job. You know what I mean? That means you're the one they outsource to. So good. All right. So extracting the downloads, the intelligence in the moment. I said this on last month's Voxer Mini Mind, and it has become my favorite example. So what happens often when you are a transformational leader is you will get messages for yourself and for the other people and for your clients, right? And you can quickly, if you don't let those messages through and share them, you can quickly become constipated, energetically constipated. And this is like where you have so much that you don't even know what to share and it's not even coming out at all. Yeah. And so the way we prevent that is by extracting in the moment and sharing in the moment, which actually infuses the now with the energy we're looking to do, which brings in the clients, the income that you're looking to build. If you're having a high day, perfect, write it. If you're having a low day, perfect, write it. If you're having a middle, neutral, nothing's happening day, perfect, write it. The neutral for me was very excruciating. I was comfortable in the high and I was comfortable in the low because there was pressure on both sides. It was basically the same thing, just a different side. The neutral was something that was very new to me. And I would imagine for most of you, you are very similar, where you thrive really well under pressure and you also really love it going well. Like it's like that you can handle that because there's pressure. There's pressure on the it's really good right now because the pressure is it might be really bad in a second. And then there's pressure on the bottom because it's really bad and like your butt's about to get burned and like you need to boost the energy a little bit. But the neutral is like a whole nother land where we're like, oh my gosh, I'm peaceful. Nothing's really happening. Kids are playing quietly. I don't really have anything to say. What am I supposed to be doing? Like we get so used to toiling that when there's not a problem to solve, sometimes we'll go create a problem so that we can get high off the solution and then ride the high because we're more comfortable in the high. That was me. 100%. That was me. That was where I was like, if I dip anywhere near neutral, I freak out. And so then it's like, well, what do I have to solve? This must not be working. There must be something else I have to add. Okay, maybe I need to rechange everything. Maybe I need to add another masterclass. Maybe I should do this other offer. Maybe I should change this, change that. And I was like constantly tweaking, tinkering around in ways that shouldn't have been happening. And I was doing it because I was creating problems where there wasn't one so that I could get high off of finding a solution. Have you ever done that? Have you ever done that? So, as long as you're aware of what's happening, you're aware of where you are, you can start to comfort yourself in the neutral. So one of the things for me that I've done to really comfort myself in the neutral is to, number one, it's like build a business that's working whether I am or not. So when I'm in neutral moments, there's still so much happening behind the scenes. There's people finding my podcast for the first time. There's people watching past live streams. There's people reading past Instagram content. There's people watching my stories that I did yesterday. There's people that are finally opening my emails that have been sitting in their inbox, and all of a sudden they decide to open it and it's talking about Voxer Mini Mind and they buy it, right? There's stuff happening. There's stuff still there in my vortex, this foundation that I built. Yeah. And so even when I might be in this moment of like, meh, right? It's still working. And so I love to remind myself of how it's still working, it's still working, it's still working. Because it doesn't matter like what level you get to, like there is still that element of like, it is still working, right? It's the gap between the sales. It's the gap between your next client. It's the gap between the next download. It's the gap between the next program jumping in. That's the neutral space. It's the, can you steward the vision, the knowing where you're going while you're in the gap, while you're where you are? Can you steward your vision? Can you hold the faith of where you're going when you're still where you are? Or are you just justifying where you are because you're like, well, obviously I'm still in this house, that couch is still there. Or are you focused on the next house that you want, or the next thing that you want, or the next thing that you're creating? Hello, Stacy, welcome. So as we wrap up today, I'm gonna roll into talking about a couple of other things in my world that are happening, but I wanna tell you the homework for today. The homework for today that I really want you to get into a space tonight of stillness, 10, 15, 20, however many minutes it takes, honestly. But give yourself space tonight. Maybe light a vibey candle, turn the lights down, make some tea, just like really treat yourself and love on yourself. But I want you to go into the question of who have I given my peace to? Who have I given my peace to? That might be a lot at first for you to say, like, who did I give it to? But you could say, who took my peace? But by the end of this example, by the end of this homework, by the end of this journal session, I want you to realize they didn't take it. You gave it to them. And by realizing that you gave it to them, you can take it back in an instant. An instant ease will zoop back to you. Zoop, like, zoop, zoop. Yeah? It will pop back to you very quickly. The moment you realize you gave it away in the first place, you can call it back. So you're going to look at all of the people that you gave your ease to, that you gave your peace to, that you gave the power to rock you, to shake you, and then you can claim it back. And all you have to do to claim it back is you can say, you can write, thank you so much for the role you've played in this. I am taking my peace back. I love you. I honor you. I see you. I love me. I honor me. I see me. Because there's going to be a level of like forgiving that has to happen for ourselves too. But this is going to be a very powerful exercise for all of us. And I'm doing it too. Doing it right alongside of you. Because there's been times we give our power and our peace away to others. But what's so good about this and realizing that we did that is we can call it back in an instant. So that completes day one. Now I'm going to roll into talking about some incredible ways you can start to work with me in the future. And of course, today I would invite you to screenshot this, post this on your stories, post a picture of your journal tonight as you're doing the exercise, tag me so that you can be inside of the giveaway for tomorrow. We're going to be giving away something for $333 and I'm very excited about that. And then Friday is going to be the big giveaway. It's going to be over $3,000 of value. So that's super cool. So I am so excited to announce that we now have the Ease Frequency Bundle available for all of you. Any of you who want to take advantage of this, it is 12 months of a journey with me. For $3,000, we are going to do the Voxer Mini Minds. You get a mini Voxer Mini, well, it's Voxer Mini Mind every single month with me. 5 days in Voxer. It's a group mastermind. It's group coaching. It's also private coaching that happens in there with you and me, but it's in a group. 5 straight days. This is like a powerful week where we come together for incredible shifts and transformations. Deep coaching. I love these things. We've been doing them since January. They are incredibly potent and just absolutely next level. So our next one begins on Monday, April 11th. And so when you join the Ease Frequency Bundle, you're going to get the next 12 months of Voxer Mini Mind, as well as every single program that I run during that year together. And the next 3 programs that are coming up are Divine Downloads, which is a journaling program. It is a 4-week journaling activation session where we're going to use Voxer. We have the program, we have the content, but there's going to be Voxer for me to help show you how to guide yourself into self-inquiry and asking powerful questions so that you can make shifts on the inside of your journaling pages that actually translate into dollars outside of your journal. Divine Downloads is a program that we've been running behind the scenes with a handful of people, and it is so potent. And the way we're going to be doing this is next level over the course of 4 weeks together. We'll be opening journaling on certain days of the week for us to have Voxers, and then it'll be a go and kind of self-lead through the rest of the time. Anyway, I could go on and on. But if you know you want to be inside of Divine Downloads, send me a message and let me know, or jump into the Ease Bundle. Either way, send me a message. So there's that program. Channeled Content is another program that's coming up. This is actually a masterclass that I ran last year, and it is now coming back as a program. It will be a 3-part program with Voxer coaching included. So all of these programs are not just content, they are content plus coaching. And then the third one, we are bringing back the money game. Popular demand, this is my money activation program where you get 10 days of live money games to play with us. It's money mindset, it's money, just the energetics of money, it's playing in the field of potentiality, it's all of that. And there's Voxer included as well. And what happens when we get into this money game vortex is money just starts to come in. Clients start to pop pay in fulls, payment plans, refunds that you didn't expect, tax refunds you didn't expect, like just a lot of stuff starts popping, and it's all very intentional through this practice of the money game. So that is coming up in June. Those are the next 3 programs. And so by joining the Ease Frequency Bundle, you're gonna actually get that plus any other future programs and 12 months of Voxer Mini Mind for $3,000 or payment plans of $300 for 12 months. So I am excited about that bundle because I've been talking with a lot of you in the DMs about the mini minds, and this is going to be so perfect for you. I mean, just imagine being able to come back month after month for more coaching and more support and just continuing to deepen the integration and the work that you're doing. I'm so excited. So as we end today, I'm encouraging all of you that are here to do the homework tonight and reach out to me about any of the offers that I just talked about. Whichever one you're feeling the pull towards. The thing about my DMs is there's no pressure. Your DM is not, I don't think it's you buying. Like, we get to have a conversation and figure out if this is your soul yes. And if it is, I'm so excited to welcome you. But I'm here to have this incredible conversation with you about what is your next step as you step into that. But I am committed to helping you build a business empire and a family legacy and loving the heck out of your life in the process. Yes, Shandy says the Voxer Mini Minds are amazing. Oh my gosh, I know. The March one was so incredible. I cannot wait for the next one. This is so great. Amazing. Well, the replay will be here on Instagram, and if you're on the replay list, you will be getting access to the YouTube version. So if you're not there yet, katiefleming.co/ease will get you the replay, and that will process here in a few hours after my team gets it uploaded. But I have enjoyed day 1. I will see you tomorrow for day 2 at, let me tell you, 8:30 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow, Thursday, April 7th. This is amazing. Thank you, Coach Stacy. Coaching with Stacy. Stacy, so good to see you. All right, girls, I will talk to you all soon. Bye.